If you make a film about the devil, you're inviting the devil into your life. The religious and spiritual advisor and the person who came up with the idea for the film, Robert Munger, had this view. And this is the person who came up with The Omen. He told filmmakers that the Antichrist would do everything to stop the film from happening. And seemingly around that time, he was trying his best, because just prior to signing on to the film, Gregory Peck's son was found dead of apparent suicide. But that wasn't the end of Peck's troubles with the film. Peck's plane was struck by lightning as he flew to England. The writer David Seltzer's plane was also struck by lightning a few days later. And sticking with planes, a freak accident led to a plane that was chartered for the film being given to someone else. And this plane then crashed, killing everyone on board. But even stranger enough was that the pilot of the plane actually crashed into a car that was driving by the airport that his wife and child had dropped him off in, killing them as well, which is just an unexplainable, I mean, a freak accident, to put it bluntly. That's the only word that where it applies here. I mean, the IRA also set off a bomb, because this was filmed in London at the time, and they set it off at a bomb near the hotel of producer Mace Neufeld. And it also was very close to happening to him again, because he had a table booked for a restaurant, him and his wife, and the restaurant was bombed before they got there. So they were very lucky in some ways, but certainly it feels like some people on the Exorcist set are marked for death. We also should say that one of the animal handlers who assisted on the film, this was, of course, a scene where baboons attacked the car, which apparently was also, some people suggest, something to do with the curse, that the baboons went crazy and that the car stalled. I don't know if I buy that one. But anyway, one of the animal handlers on the set, shortly after filming, was killed and eaten by tigers, which some people have said it's lions. I mean, either way, I think it's pretty fucked up. And also, the director, of course, doesn't get away scot-free. Richard Donner received plenty of threatening letters, including one that said his blood will run in the streets. After the film, a special effects supervisor is in a really terrifying, tragic accident that's nonetheless creepy. And this is something that's sort of devolved into urban legend. But before we get to that, I should say another death did occur on the set. Well, not on set, and not a death even. So I guess it didn't. But a stuntman who was involved in the film later on was pushed off a roof during filming of another film, and did survive, but was severely injured. But back to our story of John Richardson, the special effects supervisor in the film, who suffered a terrifying tragedy, and definitely something that makes me go, okay, this film is cursed. Shortly after, he was filming another film in, I believe it was Norway. Or sorry, the Netherlands, I believe. He was filming a movie and he was driving with his fiancée in a car. And whatever way happened, there was a crash and his fiancée was decapitated. Now, again, apparently a lot of people point to it being very similar to that scene in The Omen. And when this happened, if you believe the legend, he comes out of the car and looks at the closest sign, and the sign says Omen, 66.6 kilometers away. Omen spelled O-M-M-E-N. Now, this is where we have to do a bit of fact or fiction. There is a town called Omen in the Netherlands. The accident did apparently take place very nearby. But they don't have signs like that in the Netherlands that say 66.6, apparently. No such sign allegedly exists. But there is a sign that says Omen, and there is also a sign with a couple of sixes in it, or 000, which may have been read as a 6, perhaps in a state of presumably anguish and being totally disoriented. He might have misread it, but certainly being near a town called Omen when this happens would certainly do it, and certainly has added to the legacy of the Omen being cursed. Oh, I should also mention this happened on Friday the 13th. So, explanation or exorcism. This one, I swear to God, man, I'm going to have to say this one needs an exorcism. This is insane. More so than any of the other ones, there's a lot of freak accidents. But put that aside, a lot of the freak accidents here are verifiable. You can look up news reports and see that these actually happen, which isn't always the case with some of the other ones. A lot of these things have been proven to be real, and what's strange, the only reason I would say that maybe it's not cursed is that there are a lot of near misses, that some people survived, and there were accidents where people didn't die, and because of that, maybe it's not cursed. In fact, some of the people involved in the film suggest that it's actually blessed because there were so many times where they should have been killed or could have been killed and they weren't. So I don't know. There's certainly enough weird stuff here and enough terrifying things here that gives me pause and makes me think that there are larger forces at play. There's a lot of eerie and weird coincidences. So far, if I think any of the films are cursed, I think it's got to be this one.